Today on Ag Etc., farm fresh shrimp raised right here in Kansas. Yes, we said shrimp. Kyle Bauer visits with Bob Daniels about shrimp farming the Kansas way. At High Plain Journal's Wheat and Sorghum U, Brian Stevenson talks about growing with a purpose. He explains to know what you got at harvest time to get the best price for your commodity. On That's My Farm, we meet Luke Kaiser of Kaiser Angus and learn about their operation in Kansas. We will show you new cattle research from K-State showing how metabolism and immunity are related when it comes to health. We finish up at Cattle U with Tiffany Lashmet. She explains land leases and how to protect yourself. It's all coming up right now on Ag Etc.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer. I have the opportunity to visit with Bob Daniels. He's with Sunflower Shrimp in Oxford, Kansas. And no, you heard that right. They grow saltwater shrimp in Kansas and has been the pioneer for that project. Bob, when did you do your first, I'll just call it batch of shrimp in your facility?
We got our first shrimp in March of 2016, and we were selling by July 3rd of 2016, we were selling shrimp.
You know, I've gotten to hear your presentation a couple times, and you found a nice market in the Wichita area and Kansas in general for selling the product.
Wichita has been a very good location for us. We have some buyers, the public at the Brickyard, for example, that are frequent buyers of our shrimp. But it is a head-on, shell-on shrimp, which is something that you don't get at very many places, and the chefs in the area can really appreciate it and do some fine things with our shrimp.
You know, none of us really know much about this, and we're going to try to graze over the top in a hurry, but let's talk about the life cycle when you get them, how you get them, and how long you have them before you start to harvest.
Well, let me back up a little biology. The shrimp she lays an egg. The egg hatches in about 3 hours. Over the next 10 days, that shrimp will go through 6 metamorphoses until they actually look like a shrimp. During that first 10 days, they're called a larvae, and when they look like a shrimp, they're called a post-larvae, a PL1. We buy PL 10 or 11s. They look like a shrimp for about 10 or 12 days, and we get that from either a hatchery in Florida or in Hawaii.
And so then what do you do? They've got to be just tiny at that point.
When they arrive, they're smaller than an eyelash. We just got a batch in this week, and they're very small. You can put 30,000 in 6-7 liters of water and hardly even see a dot. But over the course of the next 25 days, they're going to grow to be over an inch long, weigh a gram apiece, and we hopefully will harvest out a good 90 to 95% of them.
So how long before you start harvesting then?
Once they're moved from the nursery, they'll go into a grow-out tank, and from egg to plate, in rough terms, 6 months or less, we'll start selling in about 125 days.
Now, of course, I've seen shrimp in the store that are from what I would say small to just huge. Tell us about the size that you like to harvest at.
What we found is that a 20-count shrimp is the most desired by most people. It's excellent for grilling. It's excellent for boiling or any other things you would like to do. So 20 shrimp per pound is what our goal is. We've sold some that are larger, and we've sold some that are smaller.
So when you have a tank that's ready for harvest, do you harvest everything, or do you sort through them for the ones that are bigger, I guess?
Well, we like to harvest from 2 or 3 tanks at the same time, and we'll pull those numbers down, taking the biggest or the precise size shrimp that our customer wants, and then we'll toss back the others. But over the course of a month, that tank will be completely emptied, and we'll be on to another round.
So you started in 2016. I understand you're expanding, so it must be going fairly well.
We're from the very beginning, we wanted to have 8 buildings. This is our first building we built, our flagship, to show people how sunflower shrimp is grown. And our next buildings, we're working on the design now. Hopefully, we'll get something sooner rather than later. But a lot of changes in the industry right now that we're trying to accommodate and make the most of.
If people want to reach you, I assume the best way is to go to a website. What is your website?
We do have a website, sunflowershrimp.com. We also have us on Facebook, Sunflower Shrimp LLC. Or you can email us at daniels@sunflowershrimp.com.
We're visiting with Bob Daniels. He is the owner, operator, and innovator for shrimp farming in Kansas. This is Kyle Bauer reporting.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about umbrella coverage. Did you know that if you're held liable in any type of accident, the judgment can claim your assets? Please give me a call so we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Kansas Farm Bureau has served farm families in rural Kansas for more than 100 years. We're pleased to offer new healthcare coverage choices for Kansans in 2020 through Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans. No matter what stage of life you're in, we'll have options that fit your lifestyle. Plus, our network of providers is one of the largest available throughout the state of Kansas and beyond. For more information, including the different plans available, or to get a quote, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
And I'm absolutely delighted to be here at Wheat and Sorghum University. It's been a really interesting day, and I had the opportunity to discuss things like growing for a purpose, but also talk about a lot of agricultural issues here with the participants. What growing with a purpose means is, in the end, is a commodity a commodity? And kind of my view on that is that there is a purpose. I mean, people even think that corn is a commodity. That's just not true. The way that it works in the end is that corn that has more oil is better suited to go into the feed yards. Corn that has more carbohydrates is better suited to go into the ethanol plants. Now, can we discover that value? That's a part of the process. Another great example, particularly for the people here at Sorghum and Wheat Year, is that wheat, which is brought in right out of the field and is sold at the elevator as ordinary wheat. So the elevator wants to buy ordinary wheat because that's the cheapest wheat, but they want to sell no ordinary wheat because what they want to do is get the premium for the protein. So not only do we say growing with a purpose, because obviously every farmer, when he puts the wheat in the ground, he believes that he or she believes that they're going to have high protein wheat, which trades at a premium. However, when they get out to the end, they may know or may not know what our message is, and what my message is know what you got, so that you know then how you can price it. You know, unfortunately today, and I think that there's industries looking for disruption, but the easy answer is to buy a machine that you can put a sample in and it'll spit out, for example, what the protein is. Today they're really expensive. And I think that that's an industry which is ripe for finding a way around that, because in the end, that is exactly what the farmers need is that they need to be able to, in as real time as they possibly can, find out exactly the quality specs that they have so that they can then use their on-farm storage to segregate those types of quality specs and then advertise those to people who need those types of specifications. Today is when we look at the value chain in the agricultural community is what we find is we find the genetics at the top, and then the farmer, and then it goes to a first originator, and then to a terminal, and then finally, in the case of wheat, it goes to a miller, and then it goes to a branded food company where they make it into bread, and then it goes to the consumer. Well, when we think about this, what really happens is the farmer is talking to geneticists, and what do they want? They want yield, big yields, okay? Then down to the first originator and to the terminal, what do they want? They want blending material. All right? They want blending material. But when we get down to the ingredients person who is facing the branded food company, what do they want? They start changing the question. And the question becomes is can I buy the quality that I then am going to be able to give to the branded food company? Then we get to the branded food company. What is a branded food company? What do they hear? What they hear is from the consumer. And what does the consumer really want? And I hate to say it this way, don't hurt my baby. That's what the consumer wants, is don't hurt my baby. And I'm telling you is today is that it's extremely important for branded food companies. They get that message. The problem is we can't get through all the rest of these layers to even get that information to the farmer. So to me, the next really logical big step is for somebody, and somebody like in Telefarms or in Telefarms will find a way to get the Uber button. And that's going to be a huge step forward, because what that allows then the branded food company to say is, I am interested in buying quality and I'm willing to pay for it. Press the Uber button. A farmer, I have quality and I want to be sure that that gets down the value chain. I will list it. And that's what will really change.
What if sustainability were synonymous with U.S. soy? If energy efficiency, water quality, and soil health help define U.S. soy's value, that future is here, the time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is committing to sustainability that's achievable, worthwhile, and enduring. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Okay, looks like it's time for our tour. Welcome to the Fort Wallace Museum. Here at the museum, you're going to find some really interesting stuff, like our replica stagecoach from the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. We've got facades from the fort buildings. We've got an 1870s flag. There's a plesiosaur that was discovered locally. We've got the Ray pump organ collection. We're a little bitty place with a great big story, and we'd love to have you.
Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on 3 main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people, just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.
Imagine turning soybean oil, used cooking oils, and waste animal fats into fuel so amazing it drives U.S. jobs and our economy forward. Learn more about biodiesel at americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
This segment brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer. I'm visiting with Luke Kaiser of Park, Kansas, and we're going to be talking about That's My Farm. Luke is a young farmer at Kansas State University, but Luke, tell us about the farm that you're involved with at Park, Kansas.
When I'm not here at Kansas State, I'm back home helping Dad. He has a registered Angus cattle herd. He sells bulls every year. Then also we do row crops, corn, little sunflowers, a few soybeans, and then my grandfather, who's I think 81 or 82 years old, is still involved in the operation. He still has a background lot that we put cattle in every year and fill that he feeds every morning and night still.
So tell me your grandfather's name.
Delmer Kaiser.
Now you're in the Park City area. Which direction from Park City?
From Park, we're south of it, but we kind of operate out of where the feedlot's at, and that's south of Grainfield. Actually closer to Gove, Kansas, along 23 Highway. They're just 2 miles off the highway there. So,
wheat crop this year. Did you say you raised wheat?
Yep. Oh, yep. We also raised wheat too. It was the best that I've ever been around to witness, and I've talked to Grandpa about it, and he said that's the best he's seen, and ever since he's been farming. So that was that was very fun to be part of.
Tell me about the registered Angus herd, the name that they're marketed under, and what you sell from that. You sell bulls and heifers, or what do you sell?
Mostly bulls. It's gotten bigger each year. Dad's done it. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's 18th or 19th year going on, I think. Sell roughly 70-some bulls, and then he has started into the heifers here the last 5-10 years. So.
And your parents' name?
Be Daryl Kaiser, my mom, and Frina Kaiser.
So do you intend to go back to the farm after Kansas State?
I would like to, yes. If that's the opportunity is presented, I'd take it. So.
Now there's a little bit of irrigated ground in that area, depending on which direction you are from Park. Are you involved with irrigation there?
Yeah, we do have some irrigation, just probably 4 or 5 circles, but some are for feed for the feedlot as well. So that kind of takes out of the row crop side of things, but just a few. But it's mainly dryland crops. So.
Now, your grandfather's backgrounding lot, is that for your own use only, or does he bring in cattle from other people as well?
He used to just be all for him, but then Dad got big into the cattle business, and then so Dad fills most of it, and then just a neighbor fills what's left, or vice versa. So.
We're visiting with Luke Kaiser with Kaiser Angus in Park, Kansas. This is Kyle Bauer for That's My Farm.
Kansas Farm Bureau has served farm families and rural Kansas for more than 100 years, and we're pleased to offer new healthcare coverage choices for Kansans in 2020 through Kansas Farm Bureau health plans. No matter what stage of life you're in, we'll have options that fit your lifestyle. Plus, our network of providers is one of the largest available throughout the state of Kansas and beyond. For more information, including the different plans available, or to get a quote, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Clyde Sutton, Nest City, Kansas. Lived on this place all my life. About a year and a half ago, got to where I couldn't saddle a horse. The pain was terrible. Read about stem cell. First it wasn't for me, then they started doing neck and back. Went and had it done. As you can see, I saddled a horse. I'm still building fence. Love to shoot a shotgun rifle, and I'm able to participate, not like I used to, but nevertheless I can do the things I used to do, and life is good.
This segment brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Let us help feed your family.
New work from Kansas State University shows that analyzing the links between everyday organ function and immune systems could lead to better animal health.
Immunometabolism is an emerging field studying how immune cells interact with the major organs of the body to compete for, to share, to utilize nutrients. And it's especially important during times of illness because the body really makes a lot of adaptations to make sure that the immune system has what it needs to combat the infection.
So do productive efficiency and immune health go hand in hand?
We clearly know animals become less efficient if they're sick, right? So what we don't know as much is if you try to ramp up the immune system all the time so that they're less likely to get sick, does that actually cost you enough calories and nutrients that it doesn't pay off? Or does preventing disease, have that benefit, enough benefit to pay for that extra immune system cost? And it probably depends on the environment they're in.
Take macrophages, for example.
Macrophages are one key type of cell that the immune system uses to try to combat potential invading organisms quickly. So they're out there. They're not the ones that we try to influence when we vaccinate. They're there looking for any sign of a bacteria especially. And so what's unique about them is they live in the tissues. They're not really swimming around the bloodstream.
Bradford's team recently discovered the special cells apparently have another role.
What we're really learning now is they're not just there looking for signs of bacteria, signs of infection. They're also playing really important roles in regulating how the tissue actually works day to day. And so things like turning on breakdown of body fat when the animal doesn't have enough energy is actually influenced by these immune cells, which we used to think of as only playing a role in infectious scenarios.
He challenges the way we think about nutritional support for sick animals.
If you've got cows out on 1,000 acres, it's not that easy to go give her some supplement that's specifically for her.
But it might be another story in a feed yard environment.
If you're pulling cattle to treat them for respiratory disease, it wouldn't be that hard to have a pen where you keep them for a while and maybe feed them a different diet that's intended specifically to enhance immune response to that infection.
There are still more questions than answers, but research will keep after it.
It kind of amazes me actually that we haven't dug into that to this day.
I'm Bob Cervera.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business is started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer it and work with you.
Imagine turning soybean oil, used cooking oils, and waste animal fats into fuel so amazing it drives U.S. jobs and our economy forward. Learn more about biodiesel at americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop. Liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Leases need to be in writing. And this is a battle that I feel like I fight and I preach, and even my own dad I have issues with. But really, putting a lease in writing, what it does is it protects both the landlord, it protects the tenant, and it protects the relationship between them. And a lot of times that may be what's more important than the rest of it. And so the first thing I would say is get those leases in writing. Doesn't have to be complicated, doesn't have to be adversarial, just get them written down. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing that we talk about from the landowner perspective is set a stocking rate. And I think for a landowner, that's the most important term you could have in a grazing lease. And that's strictly just to protect your property, right? That what you've got, the value you have there is your grass. And so we want to protect that from somebody coming in for a year, running way too many cows, grazing it to the dirt, and then causing a problem. From a tenant perspective, one of the things I think it's easy to overlook for a tenant, I think it's really important to look at termination rules for a lease. So for example, a lease a lot of times will spell out, look, the lease can be canceled upon 30 days notice. From a tenant's perspective, I want that notice to be as long as I have, because I'm going to have to go find somewhere else to put those cows or figure out where to get them sold or whatever. So for a tenant, I really pay attention to what are the termination provisions, who can cancel the lease, when can it be canceled, and how much notice do you get. One thing I've really seen pop up are solar leases, which has been interesting, and at least in Texas, we've seen those all over the states. Folks are going out trying to lease up land for solar, and landowners are contacting me to sort of get some information on, hey, what should we think about here? What are some terms we need to look at? What are the going rates for that? So solar leases has been big. I've been getting a lot of questions lately also on landowner liability. If you own land or if you lease land for cattle, I think it's important to make sure that you're protected from a liability standpoint. So if somebody comes on your property and gets injured, what can you do? One of the easiest and most important things is to have liability insurance. And so it's one thing I've really been doing a lot of educational work on for landowners and agricultural tenants, is making sure that they have liability insurance. So that's come up a lot as well. So in the next 20 or so years, we're going to see a lot of land change hands. We look at the statistics on the average age of the American farmer and rancher. Those just keep ticking up. We're going to see a lot more absentee landowners, I think. As far as dealing with an absentee landowner, I think a couple of things. Again, that's where that written lease is so important, because you may have somebody who doesn't understand ag, and that written lease can really kind of govern your interactions with them. I think that's important. I think educating that landowner is important as well. You know, some of those folks may have grown up on the farm and now they just don't live here. Talk to them about what's going on, you know, what I'm doing to try to help take care of things, because that really can be a win-win relationship for both the absentee landowner and the tenant if they work it right. We're also probably going to see a lot of land taken out of agriculture, which could, you know, pose some additional issues as well.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. Frank Lyons from Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center here in Manhattan, Kansas. Daryl was one of our patients that we did about 7 months ago.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I want to do it. So we did it and it worked. I'm not going to go out and take trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
Well, it's been very gratifying to help people with their painful joints and other entities, and it's been especially gratifying to be able to help people who I know and have worked with and known for many years.
Kansas Farm Bureau has served farm families and rural Kansas for more than 100 years, and we're pleased to offer new healthcare coverage choices for Kansans in 2020 through Kansas Farm Bureau health plans. No matter what stage of life you're in, we'll have options that fit your lifestyle. Plus, our network of providers is one of the largest available throughout the state of Kansas and beyond. For more information, including the different plans available, or to get a quote, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about umbrella coverage. Did you know that if you're held liable in any type of accident, the judgment can claim your assets? Please give me a call so we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
Okay, looks like it's time for our tour. Welcome to the Fort Wallace Museum. Here at the museum, you're going to find some really interesting stuff like our replica stagecoach from the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. We've got facades from the fort buildings. We've got an 1870s flag. There's a plesiosaur that was discovered locally. We've got the Ray pump organ collection. We're a little bitty place with a great big story, and we'd love to have you.